Hula. Hello. Oh my God. How it going, guys? How long have you been waiting? Not too long, I hope. You won't believe it. I was just about to go live. Let me just check your comments. And my kitchen cabinet drawers fell apart. So I've just spent over half an hour trying to fix my kitchen cabinets. Oh, are you ready? And for tonight's news, the 10 o'clock news is Louis loses subscribers because he disagrees with people. Just joking, guys. Just joking. So I got myself a cup of tea. Tea for me. I had some chicken cooked in lamb fat for dinner. Just that, nothing else. Chicken cooked in lamb fat. And last night I had pork belly and steak. So I ate last night about 6, 7. And I've just eaten now, and it's about, well, I ate about nearly an hour ago, and it's 25 to 2. So we are gonna try and read these questions, Andrew Morenin's questions. We've had quite a bit of pushback on Andrew's comments, yeah. I'll tell you why in a second. So Andrew Morenin, hope you're well. Thank you for your information. Now, guys, I'm grateful when you guys send me things to read out. Doesn't mean I agree, but I will read it out. Doesn't mean I agree. There's plenty of things that Andrew has said here that I don't agree with, but there's also many things here that Andrew has said that I think are okay. Yeah, that is good research. So we're going to go through it together. Yeah. Now we've done 2 live streams this morning, both quite. I've disagreed with a few of you guys in these 2 live streams. I know that these live streams, not everyone's going to be pleased with what I say, but I will be true to who. I will be true to me, my Louis, defending Elvis Presley, Louis' way. I have a certain way I defend with Team Elvis. I will always be true to that. I won't defend like other people. I'm not Rhonda at Presley Mania. I'm not Joe at Rare Elvis First. I'm Louis. So I have to do things in the way that suits me. Yeah, I have to be true to that. Now, of course, I listen to everything you guys say. I read all of your comments. I read all of your research that you send me, pictures, videos, any book type stuff. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I have to go with this, my gut on what I feel is right. Doesn't mean I'm always right. I get it wrong sometimes, guys. I get it wrong. I make mistakes. I'm no expert. I'm not a researcher. I'm just a fan that wants to defend Elvis, Lisa, and the bloodline. So just because I have an opinion doesn't make it so. Yeah? It's Louis' opinion. It doesn't mean that is truth. That is correct. I get it wrong all the time. I make mistakes all the time. I mix up my names, my dates, and everything. So please don't think I'm an expert. I am not an expert. I must reiterate that. Right, let's have a go. So I'll quickly go through your comments. So poor Nancy's got no hot water till tomorrow. Let's have a. I love it how you guys chat to each other. This is how you get to know each other, guys. Just looking at your comments, guys. Yeah, Carolyn, you don't even say hello to me. You go directly to Louis. Yes. It's funny, isn't it? Carolyn did a 45-minute walk yesterday. Excellent. Carolyn, are you going to do it again? Walking is good. After this live stream, we're going for a long walk. Yeah, we're going to do 3 miles after this live stream. I can hear the dog trying to get in. Let's have a look. So let me just let the dog in. Right, what's the matter? Come on. Come on then. What's up? Here we go. Here we go. It's okay. It's all right. It's just Ella. Right, Ella wants to go out. Ella wants to go out. Oh, so I am on a bit of a diet. I'm still trying to lose my tummy, guys. So all I've eaten so far is chicken, and then tonight at around 6:30, I'll have some lamb. So I need to get slimmer here. I don't like it. But I'm only 11 stone 6. I weighed myself. I'm 11 stone 6, which is good, which is very light. Right, let's have a look. Right, we're just whizzing through. All right, Carolyn. Louis says he'd be back on the last live. Yeah, no, this is my Carolyn. This is my third live. I'm going for it today. Obviously, I wait for my opportunities with the kids. The kids are at a party with mum. They're going to be gone a couple of hours. So what I want to do is do this live and go on a couple of dog walks. That is my plan. Good exercise as well. Right, so obviously we've been reading Andrew's stuff. Now, Andrew... Yeah, go and mow your lawn, Nancy. Mow your lawn, mate. Give your mate $15 to do the lawn. Nancy said to me, do I buy a lawnmower or pay the guy $15 to mow the lawn? I say do both. Buy the lawnmower and pay him $15 to do it. Do both. I did my lawn yesterday, actually. I don't know if you can see from there. Probably not. I did the lawn yesterday. I've got a cheap, lightweight lawnmower, an electric one. It's perfect. I sold my petrol one. It was too big and heavy. I got rid of it. Surprisingly, they get snapped up. They get bought very quickly. They're quite valuable. Right, I'm shooting through your comments. Okay. Maybe Louis got to mention he forgot that we're sitting here waiting. Sorry, Nancy. This is strange. I wonder if Louis pushed the button by mistake. Right. No, I didn't. Right. Right. Okay, that's it. I slept through both lives. Oh, they're interesting. I guarantee you that those last two lives, I'm going to lose at least 5 subscribers. I always know certain topics, if I say certain things, I will lose subscribers. Not a maybe, a definite. Because I don't... The reason I lose subscribers sometimes on my topics... Oh, Nancy, you'll like it. Nancy, on the second live, we spoke about your comment. We read out your comment, Nancy. So how are you feeling today, Nancy? So I know if I say certain things, on my lives, I lose subscribers. I know it, but I've always said it to you guys. I don't do my shows for subscribers or likes or views. I do my show based on my version of point of view. That's it. Take it or leave it. That's how I am. So Carolyn, yes, lost 50 pounds and no longer obese. I'm getting obese. I need to lose some weight. Right, Louis, I gotta watch it. Haha. Yeah, you gotta watch it. Right. Okay, let's get into it. Question. So just a quick roundup. Andrew Morenin has sent me his research to defend Elvis and the bloodline, but I have to say this. He does it from the point of view that Elvis and Priscilla were in love. I want to be honest with you guys. Andrew's point of view, Andrew Morenin, is that Elvis and Priscilla were in love to the day Elvis died. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that they were in love to the day he died. I completely disagree with it. So bear that in mind. But he does expose Priscilla's wrongdoing. He does expose Priscilla's wrongdoing in detail. And do any of you guys think, I'm going to ask you a question. Do any of you guys think that Elvis and Priscilla were in love the day Elvis died? Please answer the question before I move on. I'll give you the answer. No, I don't. My answer to my question, no, I don't. I think Elvis was pulling his hair out, and so was Vernon. Still arguing about the lien, the debt that Priscilla had placed on Graceland. I think Priscilla was trying to take over Graceland, trying to own Graceland. So no, there's no way, in my opinion, there's no way they were in love when Elvis died. But Andrew does, I'm not having a dig at Andrew. The way he tries to do his research is very good, but it is tainted by the fact that he thinks Priscilla and Elvis were in love. Yeah, so I don't agree. I want to make that clear. Like Elvis says, I plead innocent of all sins, of all charges. Yeah, I don't agree Elvis and Priscilla were in love when Elvis died. Okay, so Andrew, I just want you to know I respect you. I'm so grateful to your research, but I don't agree that they were in love. Okay, but I still want to read your stuff. Okay, 27. With whom was the longest relationship? Let me shut this door. The dog's starting to bark. 1 minute. Right, what are you doing? Right, in. No, you're not standing up there. Yeah, we've got to get the dog in, otherwise he will literally bark all the way through our show. Come on, up you go. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Good doggy wobbly. They've been out 100 times. They've been out 100 times. They don't have to be out another 110. Put a bit of water in my tea, why not? Okay. Guys, this is going to take a while. I just want you to know. This is going to take a while. I hope you've got a tea and a coffee. So I can see all of you are saying no. Hi, Helen. Hi, Lily. Hi, Debbie. Let's have a look. All of you are saying no. No, no, no. No way. Carol, your family are upstairs. Yes, it's a outstanding no, and I say no as well. Okay. Now remember, I am an Elvis defender. I defend Elvis and the bloodline. I'm not a Priscilla fan. I want to make that very clear. I am not a Priscilla fan. Yeah. Okay. With whom was the longest relationship for Priscilla, and was he already married and committed fraud? So Marco Garrett, Antonio Garcia. So this is Andrew Morenen's research. Marco, we may have read this yesterday, but I'm going to read it anyway. Marco Antonio Garcia, who illegally changed his name to Marco Garibaldi. Priscilla said that when she first met him, there is a certain strength I feel with a strong dark man. They're very virile and love sex, which is fundamental to me. Priscilla first met Marco in 1983 and did not start their relationship as husband and wife until 1984. So I think what Andrew's saying is that they had a secret marriage in 1984. Yeah? Is that what you're saying, Andrew? We've all said they had a secret marriage. We've always thought it, haven't we? But they never, Priscilla stated to the press that both of us have been married before. Priscilla was never going to marry again because she wanted to keep Elvis's last name. It wasn't until Priscilla had a son, Navarone, already 3 months old, in 1987, that a woman called and said that Marco, who Priscilla was living with, was a fraud and a con artist. So I want to read that comment again. I might have read it wrong. Hello. Priscilla first met Marco in 1983 and did not start their relationship as husband and wife until 1984. Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that he means that they had a fake marriage. We all know about that, don't we? Right, question 28. Martha, we've only been on 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We're discussing Andrew's research, not my research. This is Andrew's research, not mine. Not my views, not my research. Yeah. So, I mean, there is some evidence that shows a little bit that they got married. There's even a picture of a ring, isn't there? So, who knows, guys? Right. Next comment. Question number 28. Was Marco Garibaldi already married when Priscilla's son was born, and why did the relationship fall apart? I want to repeat that. Was Marco Garibaldi already married when Priscilla's son was born, and why did the relationship fall apart? Guys, what do you think? Marco Garibaldi was married to another woman at the time, and Priscilla did not want to remarry. When a woman called and stated that Marco was already married, Priscilla got confused and did not know how to handle this situation and just said, "Don't call here again." Priscilla finally acknowledged that Marco pretended to be an Italian but was actually Brazilian. He faked his identity to be with Priscilla. He already had a wife but was not divorced, so Priscilla had to have Marco sign a promissory note as she already had a son with Marco. The relationship fell apart because Priscilla let Marco have access to the money because Priscilla received from Elvis earnings from her book sales plus of Lisa Marie's earnings, and Marco was helping himself when Priscilla was away. Right, we read this yesterday, but it doesn't matter. I'll read it again because Nancy comments on this. Yeah, hi Kate. So let's have a look. Also, over time, they became emotionally distant from each other with accusations of truthfulness. Besides, there was a big strain caused by their opposite careers and constant public harassment. Their priorities and desires went into a different direction. Also, infidelity played a role. Priscilla having fun at dancing with the stars and Marco producing films with his array of friends on drugs. So in 2006, there was a complete split. Okay, I know we've already read this, but okay. So, did Priscilla continue her affairs after her big split in 2006? So, Andrew Morenin says, yes, but from now on, Priscilla had mainly dates and companionships. So, there's some people here that Andrew lists as companions, yeah? Dates. Nigel Lithgow, who was a television executive. Richie Palmer, a producer and business owner. Barry Crocker, a television actor. Toby Anstiz in television and acting. And Tom Jones, entertainer. Now, I'm not convinced that she was seeing Tom Jones. Do any of you guys think, and this is between 2017 and 2022, Andrew is saying that she was seeing Tom Jones. Does anyone believe that? Put it in the comments, guys. I mean, I've obviously heard it. Does anyone believe Priscilla was seeing Tom Jones? Obviously, we know about that Tom Jones' wife, I think, passed from cancer. Is that right? All right, Sandra, how are you? Right, yeah, Debbie, friends with benefits. That could be possible, couldn't it? I reckon that could be possible. Friends with benefits, yeah? I like Tom Jones, yeah? So I like to think that it's not true and that Tom Jones had more respect for Elvis because they were friends. Let's face it. Tom Jones and Elvis were good buddies. It's well documented how they met. They loved each other. They loved being together. They even holidayed together. So I like to think that nothing happened, but who knows? So Priscilla was most likely with Tom Jones. Why not? She was with everyone else. Yeah, Lily, I understand. I'm not saying either way. Yeah, I think very possible. Very possible. I will say this, like Lily says, she has no moral compass. Between you and me, guys, yeah, I do think Priscilla is a bit of a slapper. Yeah? Shh. Between you and me, guys, don't tell anyone. I do think Priscilla is a bit of a slapper. Don't tell anyone. Anyway, yeah. Honestly, I mean it. I think she's a bit easy. She's a bit easy, yeah? Shh. Don't tell anyone. Right. A slapper is someone who is easy. Someone who is easy. Slapper. I've taught you a good word. Right. And do you know what? The reason I say that, guys, the reason I say that is because you go through her history. You go year by year, the different things that she did through her life. She fancied her men big time. Big time. Fancied. If Priscilla fancied someone, she went after them. Just an opinion for entertainment purposes. Hot to trot. There we are, Linda. Right. Now, when I was a DJ, I was a bit of a slapper. I'm joking. I'm joking. I was DJing. I took my job very seriously. If a drop dead beautiful woman approached me when I was single and a DJ, I would ignore them. You know what I mean, don't you guys? Right, I really think she wanted Tom Jones back when she was with Elvis. I really believe that. Well, yeah, Nancy, that's possible because he was bloody good looking, wasn't he? Tom Jones is a bloody sexy man. I think if they did, they were companions after his wife passed. Yeah, Jimmy, I would say that to me, it's more likely that when Tom Jones lost his wife, so he was married to her for 50 years. I know Tom Jones was very unfaithful to his wife, yeah. But I would say Tom Jones was devastated, heartbroken, and really struggled with the loss of his wife, even though he was a naughty man and was very unfaithful. I would say that more likely they were good friends. That is my opinion. I would say more likely they were just very good friends. I could be wrong. They were companions. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, Nancy, Tom Jones was a bloody sexy man, wasn't it? I've watched the old videos. So Jimmy says more companions. Yeah, I would go along with that. Her men were more important to her than her daughter. I agree with that. But men and career, yeah, ambition. Men, career, ambition, all that, money, success, fame, spotlight. Lisa does seem to have always come second. It does seem that way, which is very sad. Some people have said that Marco Guy was okay and was good with Priscilla and she didn't want him out working. She wanted him to stay with her and she knew about his past but ignored it. Who knows? Yeah, and that wouldn't surprise me. But remember, he was living under an assumed name. He did trick Priscilla into thinking he was Italian, a very successful businessman, entrepreneur. The truth is, he wasn't. He was Brazilian and he wasn't successful. He did have a bit of success. I think the way they met is, didn't he write one of the scripts for Dallas? So he was dodgy. I'll say that. Marco Garibaldi, Garcia, where it is, he was dodgy and has disappeared. Where is he? Where is he? So I would say that Priscilla had the upper hand. Maybe not. But she was with him the longest, wasn't she? Over 20, was it 22 years? So she must have liked him. Yeah. So some would say he was a very handsome man when he was young. Do any of you think he was a handsome man? Right, let's have a look. So, you know, at least with Marco Garibaldi Garcia, there isn't weird shit, is there? There isn't like he abused this personal. But I will say this, at the hands of Priscilla and Marco, Navarone is a very damaged kid. And if you look at pictures of Navarone as a child, a good-looking child, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13, had the whole world at his feet. What went wrong? Why did it go so wrong? Why so much drugs, alcohol? Yeah, you know, obviously he's done some weird stuff to his body. I'm trying to be I don't want to go too graphic, but my opinion for entertainment purposes is that Navarone is very damaged. And where did that damage come from? Is Priscilla to blame? Is Marco to blame? I know it's none of my business, but when I look at the pictures of Navarone as a kid walking down the road with mum, he seems completely normal. Then you see him in his 20s, something ain't right. Something's happened. So I worry for the Navarone, the child. Not the adult. I know that he's upset all the Elvis fans, or most of the Elvis fans. I know that he has said some stupid things about Lisa. And he keeps posting lives on Instagram, doesn't he? A very, very damaged individual. Why? He's Priscilla's son. Why is he so damaged? Yeah, Linda. Tom was a slapper. He was a slapper. Tom's admitted it. He was very unfaithful, very naughty. And I think that when his wife died, this all came back to haunt him. Now, I have been totally faithful to my wife. I've been with my wife 20 years on the 25th of July. 20 years, totally faithful. Totally. Now, before I met my wife, maybe not so much. Yeah. Well, in my DJing days, I could be naughty. But as soon as I met my wife, that was it. Game changer. Game changer. When you meet someone that you want to have a child with, want to marry, it's different rules. Different rules. When you meet someone and you're a DJ, it's a whole new story. Tom Jones was hot back in the day. Yeah, you know he was. Women wanted to slap him all the time. No, not slap him. Lily, you can tell you're not from England. A slapper is someone who plays the field, sees lots of different people. That doesn't mean you slap them. You don't slap them. You're called a slapper if you are naughty. Oh, that's funny. It's the truth, Lily. It's the truth. Probably, yeah, I was... So, been with my man 29 years. I was 22 when we met. Ah, that's lovely. That's lovely. That's lovely. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Me and my wife argue all the time. Yeah, we're at each other. But it's always, you argue, then she goes quiet. Half an hour later, we laugh about it. I've never hit a woman in my life. I've never hit a child in my life. I'm not a hitter. You guys know that my dad, my parent, my father was a hitter. He would hit my mum, he would hit the kids, he would hit me. So that made me never, ever hit any of my kids ever. I have never hit any of my kids ever, not even once. I have never hit my wife ever, not even once. That's me. That's the way I am. Because my dad was like that, there's no way I was going to be like that. If I hit my wife, she probably would beat me up. She'd have a complete shock and beat me up. She knows that I don't have that in me. I don't have it in me to hit a kid. All right, got you, Lily. Yeah. Right, next thing. Right, we've been sidetracked. I think I need to get your comments on there so I can see them. Let's have a look. Right, let's get you guys on here a minute. Okay, right, I got you here. I got my phone fully charged for when we do our dog walks. Let's have a look. Hi, Frederick. You just woke up, my friend. How are you? Thank you for your information on Riley Q. I'm very grateful. Jimmy, married 41, know each other 46, and have been totally loyal from the first day. Oh, yes, Jimmy. Very proud of you. Amazing. Be proud. Right. What were Priscilla's career accomplishments? Now, this is interesting. Remember, this is Andrew's research. So he's going to tell us about her successes. Yeah? Now, one thing we know, Linda was married for 18 years, 46 years together. We were both faithful. Yes, Linda, we love that. Well done. Be proud. My twin brother has been married 29 years. 29 years, 6 kids, totally faithful. My twin brother. Right. What were Priscilla's career accomplishments and achievements? Priscilla got her first major contract as a spokesmodel for Weller Balsam. So, guys, we all know that every single bit of success Priscilla ever had was because of Elvis. Do we agree? Every bit of success that Priscilla ever had was because of Elvis. Okay? Now, this is Andrew listing her successes. Okay? So obviously she was a spokesmodel for Weller Balsam. We've all seen the interviews on YouTube. Priscilla promoting Weller and Balsam. Yeah, her hair looking perfect. They're quite interesting interviews, guys. We have reviewed them. We'll do it again. She became executor of Graceland by convincing Vernon. Yeah, so it's true, guys. Priscilla somehow did manage to convince Vernon to make Priscilla the executor of Graceland. Now, I don't want to go into it too much, but the bottom line is she's the mother of Lisa. There was a big debt of money owed to Priscilla because of the debt placed on Graceland. So that gave her leverage. So I don't really think Vernon had a choice. I think Vernon had to make Priscilla executor. Bearing in mind, she's the mother of Lisa. Who's gonna look out for Lisa the most? Vernon would obviously have thought, well, it has to be Priscilla. But the truth is, Priscilla didn't look out for Lisa properly, did she? She didn't. So Vernon was wrong to trust Priscilla to look after Lisa. We know at the hands of Priscilla, allegedly, Lisa was abused. Yeah, got it, guys? So Vernon made a mistake. But he did give Priscilla all power, which was a mistake. Elvis didn't want Priscilla to have power. Elvis purposely removed Priscilla from his last will, hoping that Priscilla would stay out of it. But in the end, it just didn't go to plan, did it? Elvis would turn in his grave if he knew the power that Priscilla achieved, and also the damage done to Lisa at the hands of Priscilla, her mother. So, yeah. Right, next. She did not want Graceland sold as her memories of Elvis were there. Right, well, that's bullshit. Now, Andrew, I don't agree with that. She did not want Graceland sold as her memories of Elvis was there. No. Andrew, I don't agree with that. She didn't want Graceland sold because it was a cash cow. It was a debit card. It was a cash cow. But I go a step further. They were never going to sell it. They were never going to sell it. Jack Sodden, Morgan Maxfield, the guy who died in the plane crash, and the bank, I can't remember what the bank are called, yeah, and Memphis City were never going to sell it. It was always going to be preserved as a memorial museum for Elvis. It was always going to be a success because they knew how many people were visiting the grave. So I disagree with that point. She did not, I clearly say this, she did not stop Gracelands being sold. It's bullshit. Now, what I do think she did, she intervened. So she took advantage of Jack Sodden. He was Morgan Maxfield's assistant. She snapped him up because he knew the ins and outs of the Living Museum because it had been planned. Remember, they were planning the Living Museum, preserving Gracelands, for a couple of years. Yeah, Vernon, Memphis City, Jack Sodden, Morgan Maxfield. It was all at hand. Yeah. Priscilla jumps in, takes credit for it, says that she saved Gracelands. They were never going to sell Gracelands. I don't care what anyone says. But there is a possibility, I will say this, that Memphis City may have stepped in and bought Graceland to keep it to preserve it as a living museum. So if it was ever going to be sold, it was going to be via Memphis City, and they were always going to open the living museum. They knew it would be a super success. Don't forget, anything related to Elvis was massive for Memphis. Anything related to Elvis for Memphis was a massive draw for day visitors, day trippers, holiday makers, yeah? So I will give Priscilla that. She jumped in and stopped Memphis City from purchasing it. But it was never going to be broken up and stripped down ever. That is bullshit. When I see Priscilla getting interviewed and she says, oh, they were going to strip the wallpaper off the walls and start selling it in little pieces. Nah, that was never on the cards. If anything, I would say this. When Priscilla went there and started decorating it, because we know this, don't we? Priscilla went there and started decorating it, trying to change it back to how it was before Elvis was with Linda and Ginger. Many say that they prefer to see Graceland's how it was when Elvis died. Yeah, you put it in the comments, guys. Many people think that Graceland's, when it was decorated, should have stayed as it was when Elvis died. Priscilla went there. She wanted to rub out any previous girlfriends. So Linda, Ginger, any changes that they made. Mainly Linda, I would say. Priscilla rubbed that out. Priscilla has always tried to rub out the ex-girlfriends. Yeah. Priscilla has always tried to, I think some of you guys are going to agree with this. Priscilla has always tried to act like there were no other girlfriends. Yeah. It was just Priscilla from 1959 and no one else. There was no Linda. There was no Ginger and all the other ones. Yeah. There's quite a few we can mention. Priscilla has always tried to make out that she is the only girlfriend Elvis ever had. Do we agree? So, no. So, number 3, no. She did not stop Graceland from being sold. I don't agree. Let's have a look. Yeah, Frederick, I've seen that picture. I hate it. Whenever I see that picture, I always think, God, who took that? But, you know, some people have told me, Frederick, that wasn't just before his death. That picture was taken another time when he was not well. It wasn't the actual death pictures, you know, like that picture was taken, then he passes. Someone told me that was taken months earlier. I don't know what the truth is. I don't know. You tell me, guys. She didn't care about Graceland because Elvis, she wanted the Nancy, she did care about it, but she saw it as a business. She saw it as a cash cow, a way of getting a lot of money. Yeah. So she did care, but in a financial way, not as a home. She never wanted to live there. Come on. When she got older, she did not want to live there. Once Lisa was born, she didn't want to live there. She didn't want to be around the Memphis Mafia, did she? Well, so she certainly wasn't a good businesswoman. Well, I would say this, that it was all sort of done for her because Jack Sodden had everything set up with Morgan Maxfield for the Living Museum. A lot of the things that happened just fell into place. Yeah, so they should have left it as it was. I agree. Gene, I agree. I don't think they should have started redecorating it. I don't agree with that. She shouldn't have even been in the picture just for Lisa. Well, right. So, I will be very clear on this so people don't get confused. The minute Priscilla took Lisa Marie away to live with Mike Stone, around, 72 it happened really, didn't it? She got caught in 71. The minute she made the decision to take Lisa to live with Mike Stone, a stranger, the karate champion, it's all over. Priscilla from then on should never have had anything to do with Elvis other than child stuff, children, child maintenance, when, dropping off Lisa and vice versa to see. Yeah, that's all it should have been. The minute Priscilla made the decision, right, I'm out of here, I'm going to live with Mike Stone, there should never have been any more connection with Elvis other than Lisa. Yeah, I 100% believe that. Priscilla should have had nothing to do with helping to open the Living Museum, any of the negotiations with the banks and Graceland. She should have had nothing to do with it. The way that Priscilla maneuvered herself into power, yeah, the Queen of Graceland, and has maneuvered herself into being the spokesperson of Elvis, going around the world portraying herself as his wife, even though she was not, even though they divorced, she was not his widow. They had been split up for 4 or 5 years before he died. The minute they separated, it should have stayed that way. She maneuvered herself into a position of power, and she has spent the last 50 years benefiting from Elvis, literally acting like his wife, acting like she is Graceland, that she is the new Elvis. And I 100% think that when they divorced, that should have been the end of it. Separate lives, complete separate lives, except for Lisa. That's my views. She doesn't deserve to spend 40 odd years acting like Elvis's wife, calling herself a Presley. We know she gave up the name Presley. And I just think the whole world has been conned. The whole world has been tricked. Yeah, this is a con. This is a trick. It tries to tell the world that she is a victim. This is a fake fairy tale that went wrong. It tries to make Priscilla out like she has preserved Elvis's legacy, which is bullshit. She tries to make out that she is the reason Elvis is remembered. It's bullshit, guys. It's total bullshit. The fans are the reason. And Lisa Marie. Yeah? So this is a con that is still happening as we speak. Yeah? So that's my view on it, guys. Thanks, Martha. Okay, guys, let's keep going. Right, so obviously we're still going through Andrew's stuff. I am trying to keep these shows to 1 hour. So if we get to an hour, we're going to do a part 2, okay? There's no point in going over an hour because no one watches the second hour. Right, let's have a look. If you look at it correctly, Elvis was taking care of her and her men. Yeah, no, Linda, I agree. 100%. Elvis paid for everything. Men, homes, holidays, clothing, you name it. With the boyfriends, he paid for everything. Elvis was the cash cow. Elvis couldn't say no. He was too nice, too generous. This is why so many people took advantage of him. Too nice. He always was too nice. Aunt Delta lived until 1994. Yeah. I just think it's unbelievable that Priscilla, she gets control and then starts smashing it all up and decorating it. Graceland's crazy. So mad. Let's have a look. I don't really like to say it, but Elvis was too nice for his own good. Seriously, guys, Elvis was too nice for his own good. I'm a kind person. I've got a good heart, but I'm not too nice for my own good. You get it, guys? Elvis was too nice for his own good. He was too forgiving and too kind. He couldn't help it. It's just the way he was made. Elvis was made in that way. Yeah? Not many of us are like that, where we're that nice, where we let people walk all over us. Elvis let people walk all over him. Yeah? And unfortunately, because of it, this is why we're in this mess where we've had this woman controlling an empire for the last 40 years. The only reason that has stopped is because poor Lisa Marie died. When Lisa Marie died, then all of a sudden Priscilla's power was gone. Obviously, there was negotiations with Riley and Bridget Cruz and Priscilla. But at the end of the day, as soon as Riley gave Priscilla the $1 million, the 400 grand fees, the 100 grand a year wages, and the right to be buried at the meditation garden, that got rid of Priscilla. So Priscilla really now is outside of Graceland. I've always said this recently. Priscilla is outside of Gracelands now. Yeah, she's an outsider. She still goes around the world making money using his name, but she really is nothing to do with EPE now and nothing to do with Gracelands. Yeah. So Riley did the right thing, negotiating a deal and getting rid of her. I really believe that. And I actually think $1 million to get rid of Priscilla was really cheap. Yeah, seriously, I think Riley negotiated a very good deal. $1 million to get Priscilla out of the picture and just 100 grand a year advisory payment. I think is a bloody good deal. The bit we're all unhappy with is the fact that she can be buried at the meditation garden. But don't forget, Riley has been very, very clever. She can only be buried at the meditation garden if possible. Now, maybe Riley is thinking, ha, you're never going to get buried there. Who knows? We don't know, do we? Right. Okay. Right. Let's go to the next point. So number 5, she became a spokesperson for Graceland, opening it in 1982. Yes, that happened. I do think that because of the debt on Graceland, because she was Lisa's mother, because Vernon made her an executor, they didn't have a choice. She had to be the spokesperson. And it did make sense because she looked so good. The world had been conned and the world treated Priscilla like Elvis's wife. This is all part of the con. So actually, Priscilla being the spokesperson on behalf of Graceland was probably, from the point of view of bringing customers to Graceland, to Memphis, was probably the right decision. Even though we disagree with it, I think her being the front person for Graceland did work. It did work. I do believe that. She was too beautiful. Yeah, and she was up for it, wasn't she? She was up for it. I don't think they could say no to her. I think she had them over a barrel. I think they didn't even have a choice. I think she had to be the front person because legally she was owed a lot of money. Remember, there was still a massive debt owing to Priscilla after Elvis died. So bear that in mind. That is leverage. Leverage. Number 6, she released Elvis and Me, the book, 1985. Now, I've always said this, that in the early 80s, a new Priscilla started to emerge, a much more confident Priscilla, a Priscilla that realized she could rewrite history, reinvent history, a Priscilla that realized she could fool the public. I must repeat that. A Priscilla that realized she could fool the public, trick the public, con the public, and play the victim. Act like she was Elvis's wife when he died. Priscilla realized she could say what she wanted and no one would disagree with her. So when she comes out with the book Elvis and Me and plays the victim, now we know the book Elvis and Me is a total con. Trash. Bullshit. But for Priscilla, it was the biggest scam in history and a very, very successful scam. A very successful scam. Still to this day. Even the Priscilla film, Sofia Coppola's film, was based on that book. Don't forget, you've got the 1988 Mellow TV melodrama based on the book, where even Jerry Schilling was a producer on that. Priscilla was a producer on it. So Priscilla realized she could say what she wanted. No one was going to disagree with her. Elvis wasn't here to defend himself. So Priscilla could say what she wanted. So when these different things were coming up, biographies, documentaries, obviously the films, the TV melodrama based on the book Elvis and Me, the 1988 one, and obviously the Sofia Coppola's version, Priscilla made an absolute fortune from the book Elvis and Me. It sold millions and millions of copies. I got a feeling on the first week it sold like 3 million copies. This book, Elvis and Me, made Priscilla a lot of money quickly, but not just that. It made, it lied to the world. It lied to the world. The Elvis and Me book lied to the world, and everyone believed it, including the interviewers around the world, the news company, the tabloids, the magazines. They all believed every word of the book Elvis and Me, and this book is like a Bible. This book is treated as if every word is truth. We know it's lies. We know it's bullshit. This is a book of lies. This is a fake fairy tale. But this con is still working to this day. The con is still working. Right. Just quickly check your comments. Lisa was clearly trying to exert her control with her in 2016 amendment to the trust, but then all her troubles and Ben's death, so it seems likely Priscilla retained a lot of power until 2023. Yeah. And really, the minute Lisa died, God rest her soul, because we missed her, everything changed. Everything changed. Priscilla lost power. She was running scared. Priscilla was running scared because she knew it was all over. This is why she contests her daughter's wishes that her inheritance goes to the kids, Riley, Finley, and Harper. Obviously Ben as well, but he had passed. So Priscilla was running scared. She was like, oh my God, it's over for me. It's over for me. And it's true. It's true. The minute Lisa died, the cash cow ended. The minute Lisa died, the cash cow was over. And now she's relying on lying to the public and acting as Elvis's wife, saying to the public, Elvis is the love of my life. I still love Elvis. I want to be buried next to Elvis. That is the scam. Acting like she's his widow, acting like they were still together when he died. This is the scam. Yeah. She can't go run into Lisa Marie anymore and dip her hands into the money at Graceland anymore. Now it's, right, what can I make using the Presley name? The Priscilla Presley name is how she makes her money. So yes, the Elvis and Me book, the biggest scam in history. How Bartlett cast Priscilla in a movie role, Love Is Forever. I've seen that. She's just an extra in the film, and it's on YouTube. I've had a quick look at it. I can't find Priscilla in it. Number 6. Already in 1983, Priscilla's manager launched a campaign to take the role of Jenna Wade in the soap opera series Dallas. Dynasty was better. Right. So I will say this. Dallas, everyone loved it. It's one of the biggest success stories in history. She would have been paid a fortune to be in Dallas. So, but would they have employed her if she wasn't Elvis's ex? Would they have employed her? Someone's at the door. Would they? I can see kids outside, sorry. Would they have employed her if she wasn't Elvis's ex? Of course not. There's no way. Put it in the comments, guys. Would Dallas have employed Priscilla if she wasn't Elvis's ex? Put it in the comments, guys. There's no way. No way. Right. Number 7. From 1988 to 1993, Priscilla starred in 3 comical Naked Gun movies. Again, the Naked Gun movies are funny. The first one is. But would she have got that role if it wasn't for Elvis? Of course not. Put it in the comments, guys. Would Priscilla have got the Naked Gun role if she wasn't Elvis's ex-wife? We know the answer, don't we? Priscilla, at the age of 39, wanted to be forever young, and in the coming years had Botox and silicone treatment, which had to be redone several times. Unfortunately, it created a slight mask effect. It did. It ruined her looks. Come on. The Botox, the silicone, it ruined her look. She should never have done it. a very naturally beautiful woman. No matter what we think of her, a very naturally beautiful woman, even when she was in her 30s, 40s, 50s, very beautiful woman, ruined her looks. Ruined her looks. She should never have touched it. So, you know, I don't want to go on about her plastic surgery because it's just not what I want to do. Right, so what I'm going to do now, guys, we're getting to an hour. We're on question 30. Let's have a look. We're on question 33. So we're going to put that to one side. We're going to go through it all. There's 40 questions. The last part of Andrew Morenan's questions actually exposes Priscilla. You'll see when you start going through Andrew's questions, the last bunch of questions, he does defend Elvis. He does. He exposes Priscilla. He defends Elvis. So you'll see, because some of you are calling him a Priscilla fan, you'll find it's not that he's a Priscilla fan. This is what I've learned from reading Andrew's 40 questions, because I have read them all, yeah? It's not that he's a Priscilla fan. It's that he believes that Elvis and Priscilla were always in love. Yeah? This is something I disagree with. Andrew, with respect, I don't think Priscilla and Elvis were always in love. I don't believe it. I don't believe they had this beautiful bond for 5 years between 1961 and 1967. 1962 and to the day they got married. I don't believe they had a beautiful bond. I personally think that Priscilla and Elvis had good and bad times. I think their relationship was very rocky. Elvis was being naughty in the early 60s. Priscilla may have also been naughty in the early 60s. Priscilla was being naughty after the marriage, or maybe even through the engagement, through the pregnancy. There's actually a possibility that Priscilla was unfaithful through the pregnancy. Because if she was seeing Steve Peck, the dance instructor, which she's admitted to in her book, around March, April, after Lisa Marie was born in 1968, well, she may have had to get to know the dance instructor before she had the baby. So it's worrying, guys. It's worrying. So I'm going to read your comments and then we're going to do a dog walk. Guys, this is the plan. I need exercise. Right, let's have a look. So that was interesting. Thank you, Andrew, for your notes. Let's just go back a bit on your notes. Oh, someone's ruined. It's my daughter. 1 second. Hello, what's going on? Yeah. Yeah, quite a few of you. 1 second. Right, hang on. Right, guys, I want to stay there a minute, Talia. Guys, I gotta go. My daughter wants to talk to me about something, so I'm gonna have a quick chat with them. Guys, we'll do a dog walk. 10 minutes.